Y'all doing? If you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. We have a rare sealed game. Don't run into these too often. That we're looking at here, called Black Orchestra. So still in the wrapper and everything. I paid a premium for it, but it's going to be worth it. And then we're going to clean up some monopolies. We got 3 monopolies, more of a modern one, kind of a 2008 one, and then an electronic banking. So we'll start with the banking one first. So the banking ones we always grab, even sometimes if they're not on sale, I'll grab them, just because the units in the card go for a really good price. So I happened to get this one for whatever reason. It was only $1.50. That's a great pickup. Of course, the issue with the banking units is they can be corroded. And there's not much of value besides that. For instance, sometimes there is no banking unit in the fucking box. Yeah. What kind of asshole, right? What kind of asshole says, I am going to bring Monopoly electronic banking to the thrift shop so someone can buy it, to not have electronic banking? You can't even play this. You got no money? So this is a bust because the hotels and houses are the wrong color for me to do anything with. It obviously comes with no money because they're supposed to have a banking unit. Yeah, so that's cool. I've said this before, like, I don't return stuff because if I'm going to be an ass about $1.50, I could put this place out of business and then I don't get to buy things anymore. So it's just a part of what we do. Sometimes stuff isn't what we wanted. Sometimes it goes the other way, right? We've got a modern Monopoly. So in, I forget which year, like 2020 maybe, they decided to change up the figures at long last. So they ditched a couple of them, the thimble and whatnot. So they kept some, but they put a penguin, a T-Rex, a cat, which they had already done, I want to say maybe 2011. They put a cat instead of, maybe it was the thimble. And then a duck. So I sell this as a modern kit. The hotels and houses are different. They're smaller and they're kind of a different shade. But I just mix them in with my hotels and houses lots and nobody's ever said a word. And then you get a bundle of money, which I'm out of modern money. This is good. This is all clean and put away. I would have been pretty mad if there's no money, considering I just lost a banking unit. We got our houses. There's going to be an 8 count here. It's weird they keep the car, or haven't modernized the car. I mean, at this point, if we were to show this to somebody, I don't even know if they would realize it was a car. Like the old hot rod from like the fucking teens or whatever. Alright, so we have that there, that money, and then we got the other one, and I'll just quickly rip that apart and we'll put everything out here. So, we got 3 stacks of modern money, good amount of hotels and houses. We have that modern set. We got 2 cat sets. And then, like I said, sometimes you get extra stuff. One of the boxes actually had the classic 10 count, except it was missing a wheelbarrow, which I have. And a set of incorrect houses, which I tossed. So, we've got 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 17. So, we are at break even, and we have not gotten to the last bit. We would have been doing a lot better if we got the electronic banking. But let's check out this Black Orchestra game. Alright, so I don't buy board games to sell as board games often, but sometimes I do, and there's a reason for this. So, board games we grab are board games that are collectible, board games that are playable, parts for the other 2. So, we do parts all the time on here. Is this collectible? It could be. Is it playable? Probably. And some of the things we look for with like call it non-A-list or indie board games, if you're trying to identify stuff quickly in the store, the box will not be the same as a Monopoly or Clue where it's like printed cardboard. This actually has a texture to it. It looks almost like canvas. I don't know why that is, but that's the case with independent run games. They will always have somebody's name on the front, and I don't know why, but a game by this dude, Starling Games. I don't know anything about it, but it was sealed. Now, just because something is sealed does not mean you buy it. I've been burned before on stuff. Sealed just means you could sell it as new. It doesn't mean anybody wants it. So I bought sealed indie games and then found out that nobody would ever buy it for any reason. Also, you're competing at that point with like Amazon. If something is sealed and it's fairly new, you're still going to have to charge shipping to people to get it. So that limits what you can get out of this. I paid $10 for this after looking up comps. So Black Orchestra is a World War II era. Hitler's grip on Germany tightens and his total depravity is unmasked. Some in the highest levels of the Reich begin to conspire to kill the tyrant. So this is, what's his name? That guy. Tom Cruise movie. When they tried to kill Hitler. So yeah, a board game based on that. That's interesting. You know, probably isn't a board or a video game around this, or there might be. But that's the board games that do well are things that are kind of complicated, almost a bridge between a tabletop RPG and a board game. Those are the ones that sell well. Those are the ones people want. So, Tabletop Tycoon. I don't know. So anyways, I grabbed it for a good reason. So let's pull it up. We have Black Orchestra board game. So right away we have parts, which is good. We have 23 for sale, which is not a lot, obviously. And then we have pricing, and then we look for watchers. So this is going to be the cheapest one, more than likely. And it has the most watchers. People are effectively bookmarking it to pick up. This one's pre-owned. Mine is not. So brand new, some of these are 40, 50 bucks. Not a ton of them out there. Alright, so Valkyrie, a Black Orchestra game. That was the movie I was thinking of. Alright. Sold We have 14. So 23 for sale, 14 sold. Over 50% sell through. That is fantastic. And because there's so few, we can really just look at all the data and set a reasonable price. Somebody did a bid. This does not count. We're not looking at that. We got this one. That's 35 plus shipping, so we're at 45 bucks. That somebody did a bid. That was stupid. Don't do that. So let's make sure nothing went through the filter here. Yeah. So we're at 45. And we're just going to make sure we are the cheapest, because I have enough wiggle room with what I paid for it where I can be the cheapest and absolutely make money. So then your decision is, if I have that many watchers on this game, what do I do, really? So that's 50 bucks. So if I do 35 plus shipping, this will go fast. I can pay 10 bucks for it. So 35 plus shipping. The extra on shipping covers our fees. Or 25 plus shipping, I'm sorry. But we are at there. Good day. That worked. Could have been better, but this was not a bad pickup at all. So, sorry we couldn't open up and look at it, but obviously I'm not unsealing it. Get out of your fly. Alright, so if you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.